Welcome back to my Friday Night Lives. So in this video, I wanted to talk about, I thought the first topic I wanted to talk about is the rift between Nicola Pelz Beckham, Brooklyn Beckham, Victoria Beckham, and David Beckham. Basically the Pelz family and the Beckham family. So I wanted to particularly also divide this video, basically not talk about and not mix up the topics of the new developments with, as I always kept saying, Taylor Swift and Blake Lively, that ridiculous saga of what's going on and everything that happened within the last 48 hours, which was absolutely not a surprise for me whatsoever. And it was not rocket science to tell that this would happen. So this happened. So I will not talk about this in this video, but if you want me to talk about and make a deep dive analysis, let me know. So I'm happy to do that. But in this video, I wanted to particularly talk about the clear and obvious narcissism that is playing out here in this family dynamic. And I titled this video particularly as who is the narcissist, right? Or the narcissist from them all, right? Who is the narcissist? I think when I saw in the last 24 hours all the videos, I think there's like a huge confusion in the society of, okay, who is the toxic one here? Who is the narcissist? Somebody is a narcissist. Yes, we got that, but which one, right? So I wanted to give you a little bit of clarity on this in this video, because as you all know, we see this starting from Amber Heard and that actor, I keep forgetting his name, Johnny Depp. From that point on, there's a huge division between in a society between this side and that side. Same thing with Meghan Markle and Meghan Markle and Harry and the other ones in England. And then, I don't know, this Beckham side and the, Pelz side, Beckham side. It's just, and the same thing with Justin Baldoni's side and Blake Lively's side and Taylor Swift's side and whatever the heck side. So if you don't know anything or if you want to remember anything of the video, it is so obvious and clear that there is not one particular side to be a narcissist, because the narcissistic tendencies, and not only tendency, but actually flow, and I will tell you exactly why. And the full-blown narcissism is in display here, like textbook narcissism. And when I saw and read about everything what happened, particularly from the behavior of, and we will do analysis of Nicola Pelz's behavior and Victoria Beckham's behavior, and of course in between Brooklyn Beckham's behavior as a man. Okay, so let's make a deep dive into, let's talk about 440, the timestamp here, 423, let's talk about Nicola Pelz, okay? So her behavior is a textbook narcissism, textbook narcissistic personality disorder, textbook, or pathological narcissism. I can say this because I have done from the very beginning of my channel multiple videos on this topic, giving examples of a textbook narcissist, pathological narcissist, with one person in mind in particular, because I have multiple from my own life experiences, clear examples, and having that person in mind who is a textbook pathological narcissist, female, and I have male and female examples. And this person's behavior is identical to Nicola Pelz's behavior. So there, it is not needed to understand whether or not Brooklyn Beckham's words or texts or these kind of this revealing wording, whether or not it was true. When you look at from the beginning of the behavior, and for me, I only need to look into people's faces and their behaviors. The way they look, their eyes, their behavior, how they look. Do they look at each other? Do they look away? Their behavior. And when you look into my thumbnail, I particularly picked that picture because that picture perfectly, since day one, that many people had in their minds when they saw these two people interacting, meaning Nicola Pelz and Brooklyn Beckham's, how they reacted to each other, how they looked at it, was always, and this is just clear, straightforward. There's no need for really like making this too complicated. The women, meaning Nicola Pelz, was always looking straight in the camera, and we see this exact same thing with Bieber and his wife, Bailey, I don't even know what her name is. Hallie? Oh my God. With something B. I don't even know. I don't know these people. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I don't even know any of these names. Hi, thanks for the like. I appreciate it. So when you look at them, they are straight looking in the camera, while the men, in this case, it's Brooklyn Beckham, is always on her, looking at her, and only has the focus to her while she is looking straight at the camera. And this means psychologically, me, look at me, and everything is about me. The same thing with these young generations, like as I say, Halle Bieber, the same thing. So and by the way, on 100%, Justin Bieber is not Brooklyn Beckham. Up to 100% that he has some character at the minimum, okay? He has some bones. But the thing is with Brooklyn Beckham, he is, since day one, everyone noticed that, how much from his body language, when you analyze the body language, he is, I am just like, do whatever you want. I am yours, okay? But for her, it's, I am for the cameras. That's it. That's the bottom line. And this is no questions asked textbook narcissism. If they were like in love, look at each other, they're hugging each other, their body language would be equal. That would be straight up, okay, they are just in love and they just have no eyes and no other thoughts than just each other, right? But this is not the case here. It is clear as day that one-sided and it's just me. Full stop. Now, when you look, now before we go to Victoria Beckham, and I particularly chose her picture of that time. And this time's picture, both, I put both. And you can see, I want you to see the difference. Because how the society presents people is just so different, and you can train yourself like this high, I don't want to say class, but high level billionaires, how they present and train themselves into how to look sad, how to look nice, how to look this, how to look that. And you can see this in the thumbnail. I particularly chose the two, and we will get to that. But in this case, when we look at Brooklyn Beckham, again, at that beginning years ago, when I did all the series of narcissism videos, then when I had that pathological narcissist, textbook pathological narcissist women, female, young female, in my mind, the husband, which also I know, is literally textbook to Brooklyn Beckham. That's why it's like, take these two, plug these two in, the same. It's the same identical structure, the same with Meghan Markle. And if you want me to, I can do a full deep dive on Meghan Markle and Harry, because I shut up for so long, but I'm just here, okay? So it's just textbook. Plug in Harry and Meghan and plug in, and then just because the media and society, and as you know, in my channel, we do critical analysis. I shut up a lot about England, and I don't want to touch that, and I mentioned it in one of my videos, but it's not what they want you to believe, what's going on there. It's not just Harry and Meghan, full stop, period. And why do I say that? I know, I follow and watched Diana getting married. I was a kid watching in the TV. I was alive, and I follow, and being in Germany, because we had all eyes on the royals, I watched her getting married. I watched how they were born. I know the whole shebang. I followed every single detail back at that time when they were first dating. I know, I read all the past people talking. I know it all, okay? And I'm like here. I just can't. And I don't want to go into that, because the narrative, and that's why what we're doing here in the critical analysis of my channel, it's not what you think it is. Full stop. Why? And I will leave it at that, because the same thing. That's why I put Victoria Beckham on there. Her old past picture and now. Day and night. How she presents herself, right? Because it comes back at who is the father, who is the mother, who are they raised? How are they raised, right? So when we think of England, when we look at Diana and all that, it's just, you can put one on one together, make it two. That's it. So that's one thing. And now, when you look at Brooklyn Beckham, he is literally, and just, you don't have to, it's not rocket science. Look at his body language. Look at his body language, and you can see that there is a person. And again, who is the father, who is the mother of Brooklyn Beckham? However he was raised, and oftentimes, I'm telling you, if there was some sort of suppression or over control, if there was a control by either parents or both parents, there is oftentimes this child who is needy for love and just get sucked into a narcissistic relationship and give it all, as if they would do, okay, I hated this so much, I will give everything to my family, to my wife, so that I will not repeat that kind of thing. But that's the benefit of the narcissist. So this person cannot see that, because the person is internally quite a bit of, maybe has empty spots inside, emotional empty spots, which the narcissist spots immediately and suck up their life from them, from those empty spots. That's the lifeline of a narcissist. But you can also say, and I see this with the other people too, that if both are spoiled, and because there's a narcissistic tendency, full stop, with that man as well. And the same with Brooklyn. So probably he was super incredibly spoiled. The first child of a family who is in people's eyes, right? It's the first child. And most likely was so overly spoiled, was overly protected. That man I was talking about or thinking of was also super spoiled. But those ones cannot see that they were spoiled. And that brings it into throwing the family away, have this hatred, and it is feeling of, okay, I'm done with this family, because they also, this spoiledness from the family makes it so that there's a mixture of emotional emptiness plus the spoiledness that is a perfect silver plate for the narcissist to get in and suck the life out of the situation. So that's that. Now let's talk about Victoria. And that's 1802. And so with Victoria, that's why I put it in the thumbnail, is the past picture and now. Do you see the difference? Do you see the face? Do you see like how mature, and I'm sad, and I am just like totally not the past person, like the past who she was, and I, yes, meet again, lived through when she first became famous, or like the Spice Girls. I watched it in the 90s, how they just out of nowhere were become so famous. But also, as I just said with the England people, I also watched one of her not documentary, but interview. And that interview is nowhere to be found. Like the other ones, interviews are nowhere to be found. And what I heard, and for whatever the heck reason, I am always the one hearing and seeing these information, and I save them, screenshot them, and then they disappear. Like with Elon Musk having picture with Epstein, and that disappeared for whatever reason. I made videos about that. These people have power to change the narrative as they wish. Look at Blake Lively, right? So I'm telling you, that's what I'm saying. That's why I wanted to make this video, is because on my channel, I teach everyone and encourage everyone to think critically and open and research and see what you see, read what you read, and don't believe in the shebang with other people or what the mainstream media and including the social media YouTubers want you to believe. That's why I'm giving you the more scientific explanations, including with my experiences of tons of people, and so that you can have if you feel lost, then have an anchor and to build on there. So always when you read something and just stay on that and question it. As I keep saying on my channel, like Einstein said, I paraphrase, but question everything in life, right? So I want you to do that. So basically, when in the past, Victoria Beckham, so as I said, that one interview, what she said, that this was maybe 10 years ago. It's that one sentence she said, and I don't think I want to reveal this here because it's disappeared, and I don't want to have nothing to do with like British whatever. So no, I'm not going to do that because it's disappeared. There's a reason for that, okay? And I'm not going to get it, but I know what I know. I know what I heard with my own ears. And that was an interview where she explained at the very beginning of her marriage with David Beckham and her goals, what she had, and then she used a sentence, she used a phrase, as she said a sentence which revealed, like on black on white, on day and night, why she wanted to marry David Beckham. I just couldn't believe that she said it so openly. That video is gone. That interview is gone. Since that time, I can't look at her as in, oh, she came from scratch. And even David Beckham said, to be honest, no, you didn't come from scratch. You came with a Rolls Royce, like with a high level family, and play this. I came from, like, I scratched like Meghan Markle, right? The same thing, guys, the same thing. Meghan Markle claims that she's such this hard worker, and she had to work through to get these things. And for people like me, like my dad, my mom, my siblings, who really scratched and worked so hard to get where we were, and when I hear this, I'm gonna scream, okay? This is insanity. And they also don't, and the same thing with Blake Lively, the same thing with Taylor Swift. These people are these privileged people, and they just have too much time in life, I guess. And the same with Victoria Beckham. How can you take her seriously? And so let's talk about this dynamic between the two then. The dynamic between the two is that one was clearly and I cannot imagine if she wasn't controlling Victoria Beckham towards her kids, or particularly Brooklyn Beckham. Because why? Because they were already super young when they got married. So when they're super young, and as you can tell, they're all still in this, like, I'm in love, I'm the teenager type of love. And when you have this not like solid, down to earth motherhood and fatherhood, like parenting, and if still everything up in the air, and it's the first child, of course you want to be like, oh my God, I have this money now, I'm famous now, I want to protect, and I want to, because you know she is like me, camera, 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 how I'm looking at the camera, and you know, like from her psychology, her body language, she makes this weird looks just to see how she looks at the camera, and how that she looks good at the camera. Super animated, super ridiculous looking, super like as she had some cuckoo in her brain. Okay, so this is not normal, her behavior, meaning me, camera, camera, camera. And I am getting sick and tired how in 2 seconds ago, when people said, oh yeah, she's so like a camera freak, and then 2 seconds later, oh, she is like this, oh, how this caring, loving. She's, yeah, probably caring, loving, but at the same time, don't forget who she always was: a camera freak, a attention freak, or like society freak, or money freak, or fame freak. That's who she always was. Period. Enough. That's also narcissism. Now look at this, when the dynamic between the two. So now what we have is two narcissists cannot come together. I said this with Elon Musk and Donald Trump. I said it in the very beginning. These people will fight, and one person will be out. 100 million %. Because both are narcissists to their core. Both narcissists cannot be on the same room, same place, same position, same nothing. It's impossible. Because it's me, and it's about me, and that's it. And therefore, when you have a narcissist, which is Victoria Beckham, and another narcissist textbook is Nicola Pelz, two narcissists 101 in one place, it doesn't work. At the top on that, the motherly protection, and because it's the son, mother and son, right? There's another level to that, and that information about that she cried and screamed, she cried her eyes out and run out of her own wedding. That was identical who that person that told you in the beginning of the video was a textbook pathological narcissist, did the identical same thing when I was in the room. So I know it's identical of the behavior. And when that person did that, everyone in the room was running after her. Nobody cared about who was right, who was wrong, because it was all attention to her, while she was the aggressor. You got that? So this is the typical me. And again, it doesn't matter what situation, what maybe how it would affect other people. It doesn't matter. Why? Because it's about them. That's it. Did they even say that Nicola Pelz was so upset that maybe Brooklyn was hurt? Brooklyn's feelings was hurt. No, her feeling was hurt, and she ran out. And most likely everyone run after her, identical with what she did. So what about Brooklyn's feelings then? Again, nobody cares. At that point, at that time, who cared about the other person's feeling? Nobody. Everybody was running after that person, and that person stood alone there. And then everyone hated this person. The same thing, okay? and the blocking thing. And again, and I totally can't believe that one day they woke up and their social media were blocked. I can totally see that. It is the same thing, because they would throw away anyone and anything, because that's it. Because narcissists isolate the man, particularly narcissistic women, isolate, or narcissistic men, same thing. If the man is a narcissist, they do the same thing. They isolate the person, their partners, against the entire family, the entire friend circle. It's the common thing. I don't say anything new. It's a textbook narcissism, pathological narcissism. Okay, so they isolate, like Harry, Meghan. So the same thing there. Isolated, and it's just us and connected, and then they create this narrative of we are good with ourselves, we are enough with ourselves, we can go through this, like faking the unitedness. There's one thing that, and I see this in a million times with couples, a million times, and I can name people. I mean, that's how I know, you know. And so it's a one thing if you if you're brand new married and you want to build a family, that's one thing. Nobody says no about that. But it's another thing, then everyone is horrible, everyone is in the wrong, only us are right, and we have to be united, and let's isolate from everyone and anything, except from the narcissist's family side, full stop. Or friends. The narcissist's friends and family must stay, full stop. Always, this is the same thing over and over again. So I don't want to make this too long. I want to end this here. So at the end of the day, who's the narcissist? And when you analyze it again from the textbook narcissism, and from all of this so far, it's so obvious who is the narcissist here, or who are the narcissists of them all. Because textbook narcissism. Okay, maybe I should also, like, what's the solution, right? So it's good to analyze it, but what's the solution, right? So of course, what would be my educational video, deep dive video, without giving a solution? From my experience, like, because my entire life I'm dealing with those people. That's how I confidently can say this. So unfortunately, there is zero what these people can do. And I'm telling you, the isolation will get worse. The isolation will expand, like, severely. So it starts first with the friends of that person who's affected, then it goes deep into the family, like, one by one, and then comes the whole family. Okay, and whoever is in need, whoever needs one person of that family member, that person will be isolated. That's full stop. And that's because for their own purposes, benefits. And so the isolation, like this for Harry, for example, this is the end stage. And this will be like that. This is a Harry and Meghan 2.0, full stop. This will be 100, and also it will be getting worse. Mark my words. You know by now that everything I said is is happening, right? So it will get worse. This is not the end. I'm telling you. This is the beginning stage of the worst. So it will become like Harry and Meghan, because Harry and Meghan is the end stage. Like there's like damage, full-blown damage. But what happens is very late, maybe a decade later, that's why I'm saying Harry and Meghan, this won't last. Because at the end of the day, I'm telling you, 10 years from now, unfortunately, that long, it can take that long, a decade, when the man realizes what's going on. Because the man start to really suffer. But also, the man most likely don't want to get separated. The women will, or would want to. Not because the women will want to, and then will get separated because the women has different agendas. The same thing with Hailey Bieber. She has she's so checked out. She already plans the next stage. Okay? This is these people have in their mind a man, a guy, and they would do anything and everything to get that. It's all over. Like Meghan and the other, okay, I don't want to go, it's just everybody, okay? All these girls that we just talked about, they did everything they could to get these people, their husbands, full stop, period. And they will do everything they can to continue with their agenda. And if they get separated, the women, the narcissistic women, will be the ones who initiate the separation. That's it. And then the man will crawl back into their family. And at that stage, of course, the family is always open to hug the family member, because it's their family member. And crazy enough, that victim, I would say, I don't want to say victim, but the person who got affected by the narcissist was playing all the games together, who is also a spoiled person. Damaged plus spoiled, okay? As I said, damaged plus spoiled together, that's a dangerous mix, a very, very psychologically dangerous mix. And I see this a lot with Harry, with the other people that I know. It's just the Bieber, the same, and others, it's the same. It's always the same. And the worst part is they also wholeheartedly believe that when they come back after the women wants to get divorced, they come back and they as if nothing had happened, they will crawl back in 100%, as if nothing has happened. You didn't say the words, you weren't hurtful, you didn't say hurtful things, you didn't do you didn't do any of those. They would crawl back in as nothing has happened. And that's when the spoiledness comes in. Like an underlying narcissism where you were the wrong and I'm coming back kind of thing. It's very, very unhealthy. It's there's no solution really. the only thing parents can do, which I saw from the person's family when the women get divorced and the guy completely accepted it and then crawled back to the family as nothing has happened. And the family was always open to have the family member back in. But what happens is then, if the person is not a spoiled person, which they are, then it's harder to still accept the fact that they are also were in the wrong. That's very tough. And then what happens is then the family dynamic becomes just, unfortunately, very like politically correct, I would say. Not like the warm hearted, like, you know, you are my child. It's just like, you know, diplomatically it is like, yeah, you know, you're here, fine, great, how are you, good, how are you, you know, everything is like diplomatic. This is how it will be. Unfortunately, we see this a million times. This is what will happen, 100%. Very, very sad. So do you have any of these type of experiences? Let me know. I hope this was helpful to you. Let me know in the comments. Thanks for the people who joined tonight. Thanks for the likes. I really, really appreciate it. Join us for our Sunday live, actually a Sunday empowerment, which will be published on Mondays at 12 p.m. or weekly empowerment videos. And this week we are talking about I'm loved. Oh my God, how fitting is this, right? I am loved, because everything, as I keep saying it, is in the core of the core. We need love, deep, deep love. And when we feel the lack of love, SHIT happens, okay? This will happen. Unfortunately, people need love in this world. The society needs love. And the world would be complete different change and different place. And this is what we will focus on, our inner love. How, and I will teach you the science of it. How can we increase that love and make it more like core inside of us, so that we can function from there. Okay, so that's Monday 12 p.m. But also tomorrow I have my calm journaling session. You will see at also 12 p.m. tomorrow on Saturday. And if you enjoy calm, healing sound together with the journaling, I created a 528 hertz sound music, which can heal your brain and can calm you down. Let me know in the comments then if you enjoy that frequency, that wave, sound wave, 528 hertz. It can be different for different brain types. For me, it's a little bit challenging as a neurohypersensitive person, but you let me know if this actually is good for you. Okay, so I hope this was helpful to you. Let me know in the comments, what are your thoughts? And let's discuss this in the comment section with a critical thinking in mind and with scientific explanations as a background. Take care. Have a good night. Bye-bye.